The story of the H225M Caracal in Brazilian service is not simply the story of a helicopter entering a military inventory. It is the story of how Brazil has used a single platform to build institutional confidence, industrial capability, and long-term strategic autonomy. In an era when many countries focus on rapid acquisitions or short-term capability gaps, Brazil's approach to the H225M reflects a more deliberate and structural vision of national defense. From the outset, the H225M was conceived as a joint solution rather than a niche asset. Instead of fragmenting requirements across multiple helicopter types, Brazil integrated the platform into the operational doctrines of the Army, Air Force, and Navy. This decision immediately reduced complexity in training, logistics, and sustainment, while allowing each service to adapt the aircraft to its specific mission set. Over time, this commonality has proven to be one of the program's greatest strengths, particularly for a country with continental-scale territory and diverse operational environments. In the Brazilian Army, the H225M supports rapid troop mobility, special operations, and logistical reach across areas where ground infrastructure is limited or non-existent. The ability to deploy forces quickly into remote regions, including dense jungle and border areas, reinforces Brazil's capacity to assert sovereignty without excessive reliance on permanent basing. For the Air Force, the aircraft plays a critical role in combat search and rescue and long-range search and rescue missions, extending Brazil's ability to protect aircrews and civilians over vast land and maritime zones. In naval service, the H225M enables sustained helicopter operations from surface combatants and amphibious ships, strengthening Brazil's maritime presence along its extensive coastline. What elevates the H225M program beyond operational utility is the central role of domestic industry. Helibras is not merely an assembly line for imported components, it is a cornerstone of Brazil's aerospace and defense ecosystem. Through the H225M program, Brazil gained access to deep maintenance, overhaul, and upgrade capabilities that would otherwise remain external dependencies. This translates directly into higher availability rates, faster turnaround times, and greater flexibility during crises or periods of diplomatic tension. The industrial dimension of the program also carries long-term strategic weight. Every technician trained, every subsystem maintained locally, and every upgrade integrated domestically contributes to a cumulative national skill base. This expertise does not disappear when a single platform eventually retires. Instead, it forms the foundation for future aerospace programs, whether in rotary-wing aviation, fixed-wing aircraft, or unmanned systems. In this sense, the H225M functions as both an operational asset and an industrial classroom. Cost considerations further illustrate Brazil's strategic calculus. Public debates often focus on acquisition prices, but Brazil's experience underscores the importance of total lifecycle cost. By maintaining a significant portion of sustainment and support domestically, Brazil reduces exposure to fluctuating foreign exchange rates, supply chain disruptions, and political constraints. Over decades of service, these factors matter far more than headline purchase figures. The result is a fleet that can be kept mission-ready with predictable expenditure and strategic confidence. Modernization is another area where Brazil's approach stands out. Rather than replacing platforms wholesale, the H225M has been positioned for incremental upgrades that respond to evolving operational threats. Enhancements in self-protection systems, avionics, and mission equipment allow the helicopter to remain relevant in increasingly complex security environments. This philosophy of continuous adaptation aligns well with Brazil's broader defense posture, which prioritizes flexibility and resilience over rapid but brittle modernization cycles. The H225M's contribution extends beyond military operations. Its frequent use in humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, and medical evacuation reinforces the concept of the armed forces as an institution serving society at large. In a country regularly affected by floods, landslides, and remote emergencies, the ability to deploy a capable, long-range helicopter at short notice has tangible social value. This dual-use role strengthens public support for defense investment and embeds military aviation more deeply into national life. When compared with alternative helicopters operated across Latin America, the Brazilian choice reflects a clear strategic preference. Lighter or less expensive platforms may offer short-term savings, but they rarely provide the same combination of payload, range, and industrial participation. Conversely, heavier or more advanced systems often come with higher dependence on foreign sustainment. Brazil's commitment to the H225M represents a balanced middle path, optimized not only for performance, but for sovereignty. Looking toward the period from 2030 to 2035, the most important question is not whether the H225M will remain in service, but what Brazil will do with the capabilities it has built around it. The program has already demonstrated that Brazil can manage complex aerospace systems over decades, integrate upgrades domestically, and coordinate joint operations across services. These competencies are precisely what enable future indigenous or collaborative defense projects to succeed. In this context, the H225M should be understood less as an endpoint and more as a platform for strategic learning. It has helped Brazil refine procurement practices, deepen industrial partnerships, and align military capability with national development goals. The helicopter flies missions across land and sea, but the true strength of the program lies on the ground, in factories, maintenance hangars, training centers, and planning offices. Ultimately, Brazil's experience with the H225M Caracal illustrates a broader lesson in defense policy. Military power is not defined solely by what takes off from a runway or lands on a ship's deck. It is defined by the systems that sustain those assets, the people who maintain them, and the strategic choices that keep them relevant over time. In that sense, the H225M is not just a helicopter in Brazilian service. It is a manifestation of a long-term vision in which operational readiness, industrial autonomy, and national resilience move forward together.